You're listening to the 1223 podcast with Bernard Pollard and Cary Williams.
Brother.
What up, dude?
Man, dude, I'm chilling. This is so funny doing that. Like, people don't understand. Like, let me give you all a little context. So the brother.
You know what, brother?
We did that in Baltimore. We did that in Baltimore in every meeting, how we just talked to each other. It was the funniest thing. Hilarious. I hope everybody is having a great day. Man, Cary, what in the world are you doing, dude?
Man,
well, doing this, but
yeah, I'm doing this, but I'm doing a little bit more too.
you were just taking you were just taking a test.
It was like a practice run at the LSAT, and my God, Lord, Jesus be a fence, brother, man. Hey, this thing ain't easy, man.
Hey, bro.
And I've been studying for more than 3 months, and I'm still confused on some things. And it's some of the wording is hard, but I take my test on Friday, and I'm confident that I get through it successfully. But boy, this thing definitely get you second guessing. But I know God is with me.
Hey,
and I can do all things through His Son.
Hey, so, he with you, sucker. But I got to tell you right now, boy. Hey, for everybody that's watching, you look like the way you sound taking that test. You look like your tongue was out like.
Bruh, I was like, I had to guess on probably about 5 or 6 of those things, and they were all wrong. The ones I guessed on.
Hey,
man. So,
that's how it happens,
man. And it's the wording, man. Sometimes it's the wording. I definitely gotta hone in on that before Friday.
Yeah, you got it, dog. You got it, man. You got it. So, man, what else is on your mind? I got all kind of. We got a couple things that we want to talk about. That we're going to talk about. I do want to. I gotta have everybody talking about this racing thing because I'm super excited about us going to this race together at the the Michigan International Speedway, August 6th. We're going to be there. August 6th is going down. For everybody that will be in attendance, we're going to be with Ally. It is going down. We're going to have cameras following us. It's going to be
that's dope.
Cary's first experience to NASCAR. He's seen the tracks from the outside, but he has never been in a track during the race, correct?
Correct, man.
Okay.
I've only seen the experiences through Lightning McQueen. With my kids So I passed by Kansas Speedway. We spoke about that, but I seen how huge it was.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine 200,000 people in a spot like that. That's insane. That's crazy to me just to fathom 200,000 people. Like, I can't imagine what the parking lot looks like. I just can't wait to experience it, man.
So I don't think Kansas is not that big. It's huge. But I think Michigan International Speedway is going to be a lot of fun. Kansas is I do not remember as far as
it could be over 100,000 people, right?
Oh, well, Daytona, like going to Daytona or Talladega, you got over 100,000 people in the stands, and it is truly remarkable. And it's, just so much fun. So before we get on that, you had something that you wanted to talk about, ask, whatever it may have been. What is that?
Yeah, you've been coaching for so long, man, and you've been in particularly coaching the youth, and you have a remarkable reach with these young individuals.
Right.
And I'm a father, so I'm trying to coach up my daughters, coach up my little son right now, and for some reason my teenage daughter doesn't take my word as anything. I may have all the experience at getting to the next level and playing at the highest or the zenith of my football career, but it's almost like I'm speaking Spanish when I'm like, hey man, do you what is it going to take for you to compete?
Right.
What do you want out of this? Are we just doing this for fun? Are we just doing this to, because you love the game? What are we doing this for? Is it because mommy and daddy made you do it?
Right.
And I was just trying to figure out, like, how do you motivate kids? Because I can speak to them to they're blue in the ears and it's going in one ear and out the other.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out how do I connect so that, it becomes real. I don't know if it's just right now, the competitive edge hasn't hit her yet.
Yeah.
Or, because it's friendly stuff out there. And I'm like, man, this ain't what I would normally do because I'm trying to lock in.
Right.
That lock-in stage hasn't hit. And, I'm just trying to figure out how do you navigate that? How do you go around it? Because I don't want to, force her to do anything that she's not willing to make the sacrifice and do.
Dude, it's crazy that you say that because obviously, Mari and Alana are the same age, same grade, and Alana is the same way. And me training DBs from grade school all the way to the pro level, training other kids have been, it's been easier. I think our kids is harder because we gotta go from dad to coach and then find a way to go back from coach to dad. And then it's hard to not allow, for me when I was training Jalen, as I trained Jalen, who's a freshman in high school, he finally gets it. Like he understands. He's like, Dad, let's go work. Dad, let's do this. Dad, let's go. And with girls, it's just they're a little more sensitive. And I say this with all due respect. As I watch volleyball team with Alana's volleyball team, Camille with her softball team, girls are just a little more sensitive. So you have to watch how you say things. You have to watch what you say. It's a lot that we can say to boys that we cannot say to girls. And so that's just getting over that barrier of that, of figuring out what to say to a boy and a girl, and then kind of cutting it in half and being coach and dad, and then, not allowing anything that was a part of the parent life come into coach. Because I was guilty as all get out with that, with Jalen, because we will be dealing with situations at home and I'd be like, see, just like you ain't doing practice. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it was just circumstances and situations like that I had to figure out, like, I can't bring that into this. Training has got to be training. Lifting has got to be lifting. Being dad has got to be being dad. And so for Mari, it's going to hit her at some point. And I had a conversation with a father. His daughter played volleyball with Alana, and he has an older daughter, two older daughters, and a younger daughter who's, I believe, a 8th grader or 9th grader, if I'm not mistaken. But I take it back. She's a 7th grader. So like he was telling me, he was like, his older girls, it hit them right around that sophomore, junior year. And he was just like, now he can't keep them out of the gym. They drive, they go, they practicing all the time. One of his oldest daughter's coaching. His other daughter, who's a senior in high school, she just got a couple offers from Syracuse and other colleges. So it hit her late. And so I don't know if that necessarily, goes for every girl, because I see some girls that are locked in, that are ready to go right now. And then I see some girls that's just kind of taking it, just kind of like, that competitive nature isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like that edge isn't there. So I think
how late is too late for that edge to hit?
I
said somebody in their junior year it hit. Was it the beginning of junior year? Was it in the season, or what was it?
He just said junior year. So with that, bro, like, I mean, and the way we look at it, because we say, okay, wait, junior year, senior year, that's too late. Y'all got to get this thing earlier because of our experiences. And, I think, with a lot of just with our kids or kids that have parents that have been successful in the sports arena, like, I think they came up with it so it doesn't affect them really, because they're like, oh, well, I was with dad at the football fields. I was with dad in the locker room. I was, our kids was at the Super Bowl. Like, what kids at 6 years old are at a Super Bowl, confetti and everything coming down? They're enjoying all of that, right? And it's just one of those things where, I mean, it just, I don't think our success really matters to them. Like, we're dad.
Right.
And
right.
so I found a way with Alana where she trains with me one time. She can't take it more than that. She can't take more than 30 minutes of training with me. And I truly believe in, I do not curse at kids. I will never curse at a kid, but I am very stern. What I tell you what I want it. I want you to do it that way. And we got to get this movement right so that way you can be proactive instead of reactive on the volleyball court, whatever it may be, whatever sport you're in. But yeah, man, it's just, that's kind of that's the crazy thing. And that's what I fight with, bro, with my 707 team. Like, I have a team where, me speaking to them, me talking to them, they're finally understanding what I am asking them to do. I'm not no regular, I'm not a teacher that's trying to be a coach. I am a football player, and I'm not saying that every football player can be a coach, but most football players that can be coaches, that can coach, and it translates to the coaching realm, and you can teach kids and train them and learn and understand how to call plays and end games and just do different things like that. That is lethal. And so my kids are understanding, okay, my coach in high school have allowed me to get away with this. That is not going to win here. And I've got to retrain them. I have got to, get them to understand, like, y'all have got to change your way of thinking. What you get away with in high school or with your high school coaches, you're not going to be able to do that at the next level. And so it was just, we had a game last Thursday, 2 games last Thursday, man, where I just saw my team grow in front of my eyes, and they were competing. We went against a team where, dude, I mean, the first game we struggle with drops. We don't have a lot of receivers with experience. We struggle with drops. Our first tournament, we dropped 20 balls. First game on Thursday, we dropped 13 balls. Second game, we dropped 4 balls. We were down 17-0 the first game, came back, and we just made too many mistakes in the game. We score at will. Nobody can stop us. Our philosophy, our concepts on offense are just too difficult. We run different packages. And just that second game, we played against a team where we played their 2s the first game, and they come back in the second game, we played their 1s, and their 1s got, a couple 4-star players, a couple guys are going to, offers from Florida State, Tennessee, all these other places, and we beat them 31-13. And they saw, okay, what coach is asking me to do, when I apply it, when I do it, we are successful. My defense picked off 7 interceptions, 6 interceptions on the day. Jalen had 3 in the second game, 1 in the first game. My other safety had 1. My corner had 1. I'm looking like, dude, these quarterbacks don't understand these concepts. They don't understand defensively. They don't know how to read it. They don't know how to do it. And they throw you the ball. And so it was just really, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, it's difficult to be able to go from, and I've trained some girls on the volleyball team, and it's different on how you could talk to them, because you just can't talk to them how you talk to boys. It is so different.
I absolutely understand that, man. I think girls are definitely a little more sensitive.
Oh yes.
But then I also think too, a little bit is how the environment is around them, because when I look at some of the girls that are on Amari's track squad now, the way their parents or coaches talk to them, they are able to respond.
Yeah.
I just and I've been able to see some response from Amari, but for the most part, I was just wondering, is it better to come from somebody else who they don't know, who they don't see as dad, who they just see as coach, and they're speaking and telling them to do XYZ and they believe it. I don't know if she necessarily believes in my concepts or understands that, hey, look, man, daddy's done this before. I should give him a little bit more respect. I do see glimpses of it from time to time, but I'm just waiting on that click, man. And right now at 13, she doesn't have that click yet. She was able to do exceptional in her first time running track in the districts here in Fort Bend, which was awesome. But it came with growing pains, you know what I mean? It so I'm just trying to figure out, when that thing's gonna switch, and why do I have to, if you say you want to do XYZ, then why do I have to push you to do XYZ? it should be something that comes natural. And I think, separate from our generation and this generation to some degree, I feel like my dad I think he played high school ball, was all county in high school ball and things like that. I was able to see that.
Right.
And it made me aspire to do something, either just as great or somewhere on the same level or even above that. Right. And everything he taught me, he gave me the football. Everything he taught me, I hung on that. Right. And some of those things were foundational things to this day that, I still work on.
Right.
But it just seems like my daughter sometimes doesn't hang on those words, doesn't hang on everything I say. And it's not, she doesn't take it as face value. She's like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm waiting on that opportunity to really see her, that light switch come on and really see her grow and develop, man. She's 5'7".
Yeah.
In 7th grade. She has good height.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Baby, open up that stride and run.
Yeah. They got to trust it.
Gotta
trust it. I think, I mean, and what I've seen, and this is I'm transparent with my players, with my kids. I think one of the biggest things too is that hunger. They're comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, they're comfortable, and they're not struggling. They don't see you and mommy struggling. They don't see you and mommy, out here split up and
right.
Man, they're trying to do what she do. You trying to do what you do. They're at home. They got a meal on the table every night.
Yeah.
If they want snacks, they go in the pantry, grab whatever they need. They're not hungry for anything. They don't want for anything. So I think that's one of the biggest differences. I mean, for me, all of my kids, I think I got all of my kids on my football team, except for one, my 7-7 travel team. All of them are suburban kids, except for one, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's just one of those things where you just see it. I had to break them. And that's one of the things I had to tell their parents. Like, I'm not going to talk to him the way you talk to him. I'm going to deal with him accordingly. I'm not going to disrespect him, but I'm going to deal with him accordingly, because he's got to learn and understand he's going to face kids that are in motels. He's going to face kids that missed a couple meals. He's going to face kids that are on food stamps. He's going to face kids that parents aren't together. He's going to face kids that fight with their daddy, their aunties, their uncles, whoever. He's going to face kids that's going through struggles and battles every single day of their life.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the biggest differences when it comes to our children. Because we don't necessarily want to take them back to how we grew up,
right?
Because we want them to be better off. But at the same time, I think that hinders some of it as well, because they're like, shoot, like, okay, you saying this, but all right, well, I've been living this life where, mom, dad, if I need some lunch money, y'all give it to me. Mom, dad, if I want to go to the mall, I need a couple of extra dollars. If I want some Jordans, like I can get Jordans when I ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's what we're dealing with. And that's what's hard to break. And it eats me alive. But at the same time, I want them to experience that. And that's why I tell my kids, every one of them, y'all working. Y'all are going to work. Jalen got a job. Jalen worked every Saturday, every Sunday. You working. You're working. After church, you're going to work. You're going to learn what it's like to have to work for what you want. I'm not giving you anything you want. That's not happening here. You're going to work for it. I had to go out there and grind, work my butt off to get to where we are. We didn't get here by somebody handing us this, but this is how our kids are coming up. They're coming up with no struggle. And that's why I tell a lot of my kids in 707, y'all hungry or y'all not hungry, but y'all trying to figure out, why are these colleges not coming? College don't want to come to suburban kids that are comfortable. They want to go get them kids that are hungry. They want to get them. I mean, Deion said what he said for a reason. We may not agree with what he said, how he said it, but he said it for a reason, because that's how every college recruiter, college coach, they look at it. Why do I need to go to the suburbs, go get a kid that, their grandparents already paid for all their college? So if they don't get a full ride scholarship, college is paid for. They already got all kind of stuff set up. And we can set that stuff up. But at the end of the day, dude, I remember at Ravenwood, when I first retired, bro, it was a kid that drove. He had two cars. He had a Range Rover, and he had a Corvette. What? This sucker driving, and the student kids, the student cars are better than the faculty. They're driving better vehicles than the faculty. So this is the generation we coming up in, and it's not in every school, but this is what it is.
Yeah.
So bro, we got to fix it. It'll click. It'll click. It'll click.
I hope it does.
Yeah,
man.
bro, it better click. Because I mean, it's in her. She got to understand. Mommy and daddy had some talent. You inherited this from us. Hey, you got this from us. You got to learn how to hone in, work it, so that way you can get better. So look, man, we kind of turned off of it. We coming back to it. Michigan International Speedway. We going to NASCAR. Me and Cary. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I think Brian gonna be there. You remember Brian? My boy, my bro Brian. He's gonna be there as well. I'm super excited about this. You got to tell me, Cary, what? Okay, so when you think NASCAR, and I want you to be 100% honest. Don't hold any punches. What is the first thing that you think about? So I can break down whatever you are like, and I don't want to stay here long, but what is the first thing when I say we're going to a NASCAR race? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Man, like I said, I just see the crowd, man. It's just rows and rows and rows of people behind this fence, and those cars are making a lot of noise, man.
Right.
And I'm trying to think where I've heard that from. In Kansas, now I think about it. In Kansas, I think we live near a speedway where people used to race their cars. And I used to hear that certain times of the day, like vroom, 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 all of that stuff. And I guess to some degree, that's what I hear, because that's what I experienced. But I've never been, so I don't know what to say, what to expect. I'm kind of going in this thing with an open heart, an open mind, and just gonna experience the thing the best way I possibly can, man, with a smile on my dang face and enjoy every minute of it.
Dude, I'm excited because obviously I've got into it the last 3 years. And I mean, for me, it was just one of those things where I didn't think Black people were drivers. I didn't think Black people were involved. I just didn't know, right? But this sport is phenomenal. And I say this, as I've said for so many just people, period. But I mean, just for me and us being retired NFL players, where we've mastered this skill to be able to play the game of football for a long time. And then now we go into retirement, and obviously you're looking to do the LSAT, and you're looking to just all these different things in life, to be able to learn a different sport. Like I grew up playing basketball, running track, and football, right? Like that's what we know. But to see these cars, and once again, just seeing, if I saw something on TV, it was just all white people. If I just saw white drivers, white vans, right? And but with that,
I mean, and I was gonna say that's what I see. You know what I mean? That's what I see. It's a lot of fans. It's a lot of white people. Yeah.
But one of the and I mean the thing about it is,
with all due respect, it is what it is.
I can say that, and I can be like, look, if more white people are into racing, so freaking what? A lot of Black folk are into football. A lot of Black folk are into basketball. When you cut on the TV, you see more Black players than you see white players on the football field. You see more Black players on the basketball court than you see white players. So it's just like, that's their preference. Like, if that's their preference, they're not saying don't come see, don't come root, don't come have a favorite driver. We got, it's some Black folk that drive. It's some Black folk that work on cars. It's some Black folk that are fans. It's some Black folk that work on
PlayStation, I had the NASCAR, 99? I had that thing. Jeff Gordon was out there killing them.
Hey, bro. So it's just, I mean, for me, bro, like I saw that and I just allowed everybody to create this narrative for me that kept me away from it. And at 35, I was like, nope. I want to learn for myself. I want to experience this thing for myself, and I'm going all in. And bro, when I say I jumped all in, I jumped in. I'm going to races. I'm watching the race every Sunday. I got a rig over here where I get in and I'm racing Martinsville right now, and just learning all these. Every track is different. No track is the same, right? You got dirt tracks that was just that they raced Bristol this past Sunday, where you're seeing just this skill set. And for me, I'm like, okay, these women and these men, they're doing what we're doing. It's just a different sport, right? They got a skill set with their hands, their mind, their feet, and they're able to get into a vehicle to allow their skill set to come to life. And same thing with us. We have a skill set with our feet and the way that we think. We put cleats on, equipment on, and we go out there and make it happen with, 10 other players. And so it's just like you see the teamwork and everything else that's involved in the NASCAR world, in the racing world, because there's so many different levels to racing that I just learned over the last year and a half. So many different levels to racing that, dude, it is just phenomenal. And so I can't wait to experience that with you, bro. Michigan International Speedway, y'all, we going to be out there August 6th.
August 6th.
Ally, man, Ally is phenomenal. Ally is, man, oh my gosh, I can't. Ally is phenomenal. And that's our Ally. They are my friends. I love them all to death. They Ally covers, so Cary, I don't know if you know, and other people who may not know, Ally covers the 48 car. Alex Bowman is the driver of the 48 car. Super cool, laid back dude. Ally is doing big things. They're involved in NASCAR. They've got a partnership with NASCAR now. And I mean, just doing some phenomenal things. And, obviously on race day throughout the week, and they're doing things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And I've been able to be a part of that. And I am a part of that. And I'm truly blessed. And I'm so thankful. So as we transition, football. All right, man. All right, we talked what was it, last week, Cary? We just talked about this.
Yeah, we sure did.
OBJ, he got
our surprise. Broke off.
Cashed in.
Hey,
bro. How in $15 million. And we talked about, we talked about it. We said he was asking for 15 to 20 mil. He got 15 million guaranteed. And it's another three through incentives.
Yeah.
Another three. What do you think about this deal? Is this a good deal? What is this? And props to OBJ. No. No, get your money, bro.
Doubt. Yeah, man. If you can get the dollars, man, get the dollars, man.
Get them.
God has blessed you. Go ahead on and get that money, man. I thought initially it was a reach, man. I was not expecting OBJ to get 15 million guaranteed this year.
Yeah.
On a seemingly prove it deal, prove that you're back, prove that you still have that twitch, prove that you can go out there and move the way you used to move. Now, when we look at OBJ, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a Super Bowl champ, first and foremost.
Yeah.
He Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2014. What else has he done? He's 57 something,
amazing.
50 something, touchdown, 7,000 yards plus. So, he's done phenomenal things in the National Football League. But however, since 2016, he has not been back to the Pro Bowl. So you paying a guy $15 million right now guaranteed that has not been asked to be the number one over a number of years in his career.
Yeah.
So to me, and then you're forcing him to be the number one now. So to me, I felt like this was kind of a stretch. And I think the reason why he didn't stay out there was because the Jets still have uncertainty there. And also I think the Jets wasn't going to be willing to pay 15 million.
They weren't going
upwards of that,
they weren't going
for a guy that, like I said, for a guy that was, and to me, this is an unorthodox and an unparalleled move for the Baltimore Ravens, because they never pay a guy this type of money for one dang year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is astronomical. This is something that I mean, they've done a tremendous job of bringing in guys, right? From other teams with leadership qualities and great players. The list can go on. I remember they brought in Shannon Sharp. I remember they brought in Derek Mason. But for some reason, Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith, who else they got out here? I'm looking at Mike Wallace, Des Bryant, Sammy Watkins. The list can go on and on and on.
Right.
But for some reason, they haven't been able to get that marquee guy in the draft that they can develop and grow. Even though I felt like Torrey Smith had enormous potential. But for whatever reason, things didn't go, the way, people would expect. You talking about a prolific Pro Bowl type of guy, you know what I mean? He was special, but he wasn't a Pro Bowler consistently. Right. And I just think that this situation is kind of geared toward I guess getting Lamar back in to some degree. You know what I mean? I guess
Yeah.
it's a lure to, hey, brother, you gonna play on this tag?
Right.
We got you a nice little receiver right here. We paid
Mhm.
him big money.
Mhm.
You know him. You guys have a relationship, and the offensive coordinator has a relationship with him. So this is a I think this is an opportunity for them to try to get Lamar back in. And they went for a home run here,
All
and
in.
yeah, they went all in for this one, and I I hope everything works out, but there's still an elephant in the room. LBJ is there, no doubt. Who's going to throw him the football?
Yeah, Odell. Yeah, Odell is there. Odell's there.
You know what I mean? Lamar's not there. Yeah, I get them talking on the phone, whatever the case may be. But Lamar, are you going to play on a tag, or are you going to get a deal done? Is this more incentive for that to hurry up and to speed up that process?
Right.
I don't know. And we know that this team goes, and I'm probably running on too much rambling, but we know this team goes just as he goes, Lamar.
His pace.
Yes, and we know the little success that they've had without him, and we've known the great success that they've had with him. I don't know what direction they're going into. Maybe this is to get him in there, or maybe they're going to draft a guy. I don't know. But this is a surprising move for me. A surprising move for the organization. But this is a guy that has Super Bowl experience, and he definitely makes the wide receiver core a lot better. And he might not be asked to be the number one guy because you still got Andrews there. So I'm gonna go ahead on and hand it over to BP. Let me see what you got.
So for me, I look at this, and for everybody that want to talk about the Cleveland Browns, what they did with Deshaun Watson. I had an interview earlier today with Craig. I look at this. What the Cleveland Browns did, they were so desperate to upgrade the position that they went and overpaid, and with some stupidity involved, they went out and went against the grain of how things are done. And they fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson money after not playing for a year in some. So when I look at this, Baltimore has done the same exact thing. The production from the receiver position just last year alone. I mean, Duvernay, 37 catches. Bateman, 15 catches. Those are your right. Those are your catches from your receiver.
That's the highest guys right there?
Those 37 and 15 out of receivers. So the tight ends combined for 133 receptions and 1,200 yards. Now, I understand this offense is about to look completely different.
No doubt.
Get it. But to go and to put $15 million guaranteed to a guy that has not played football in over a year, and now you're asking him, and you said that he's got to come in, and they may not ask him to be. You said that
it's going to be corners on him. They're not going to put corners on Andrews.
Exactly. So he's $15 million. He's got to be number one. There's no way, shape, or form. He has got to be number one. They're making him be number one.
Yes.
When the guy just came off of an ACL and he's still rehabbing. I understand he went out and ran routes on air, a month and a half ago, whatever it was, a month ago. I get that. But to consistently do that every single week in and week out, and then throughout the week, like, you're going to need him to be at 100%. And I think this was a huge reach because, as you said, they've done a really good job bringing veteran receivers in, guys at the tail end of their career, and guys that were still productive. Anquan, Steve Smith, like, them dudes were freaking amazing. They were phenomenal. And I'm fans of all the Anquan. I love Anquan to death. Like, that's my dog. Steve Smith, I respect that joker like no other. And
those two are the best to ever do it, man.
Right.
Arguably.
And I mean, and so when you look at these guys, these dudes, this was good, but I don't even think they got contracts like that.
Of course they didn't.
And so, and how we talked about last week, like, is this going to be a name play where, OBJ, working off his name and what he's done before? Because you overpay for a player like this. And it's just like, you don't know what you're going to get. You have no idea. Because once he start going full speed, we didn't been in this thing before. We didn't seen players that have come back off of ACLs. And once they start to ramp it up and
other injuries occur.
Other injuries. Yeah. Because when he's facing press, when he's facing coming across that middle, when he's got a jab and he can't do the things that he's done before, and you got $15 million guaranteed, and you're trying to, maybe this is a ploy to bring. Look, they own Lamar Jackson's rights. So if Lamar Jackson does not want to play football in 2023, then that's on him. They're not going to deal him if they can't find a partner, if it doesn't sound good enough for them to, if they can't get enough capital for him, they won't deal him. They'll let him play. They're going to let him sit. If he doesn't, if he shows up, because he's going to have to show, there's no way, shape, or form I think he sits out and not, sign that franchise. Because he could sign it and come in and sit down. If he takes that part on, that's part of me where I'm looking like, ooh, I don't necessarily believe that they need a top guy at the quarterback position. As long as the defense is playing well, if this OC can figure some things out to how to get the ball out quick, to do different things, I think they still can be successful.
You could do that with Lamar. I said that.
Well, you could do it with Lamar, but at the same time, like, I just think that this contract was a reach. I think that it's I'm hoping it's not, but my gut and experience is saying that this is not going to work out. This isn't going to work out.
You asking a guy to be the man who hasn't been the man, who's been, well, he hasn't been the man since 2016.
Right. And so,
it doesn't it makes a lot of sense to try to get Lamar back. It gives them a new quote unquote, receiver in the pocket. I get that. Right. But at the end of the day, does Lamar come back and play on the tag? Is he forced to play on the tag? He doesn't have a choice right now, right. Or does he get a deal done? I think this is more incentive to get the deal done.
He's got to be
they're trying to expedite this thing. I think something's going on where, and I also think this, OBJ wouldn't come if you're going to tell me Huntley's going to be the man. And I don't care what amount of money you're going to put up. I don't think that OBJ is the type of guy that wants to lose.
I ain't going to say he want to lose, but Cary, to get $15 million guaranteed, you going to the Ravens had to be the highest bidder.
I get that.
The Baltimore Ravens had to be the highest bidder. He went to the highest bidder.
Yeah,
and like you said, he has Super Bowl experience. He has a Super Bowl ring.
Yes, but okay, but at the end of the day, you don't want your legacy to be tarnished. You don't want people to stop talking about it. He's not the guy that wants to be out of the media spotlight and be, oh well, shoot, he went to the Baltimore Ravens and things didn't work out. He's not that type of player. He's not just gonna go for the money. I think he went for a particular reason. He understands or heard something that we don't know.
Right.
And Lamar is either coming back, either the contract talks have ramped up. Right. And I doubt that Lamar plays on the tag. I think he's going to get a contract before the season starts. And I think that's what OBJ got, and that's why he's there.
Yeah. I'm hoping that that's what happened. But the Baltimore Ravens they're going to have to do something. They got the round 1, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6. They've got to get another receiver in here that can be productive. Because, Duvernay at 37 catches, yes, he can be a guy. But, is he a number 1? I don't think he's a number 1. Is he a number 2? Maybe. I think he sits better at 3 and then doing what he's done in special teams. Bateman, he's a guy, 15 receptions, 285. And yes, he battles some injuries.
He got to stay healthy, man.
He got to stay healthy. He's battled some injuries. So the question there is
explosive when he's out there.
Exactly.
Explosive. You know what I mean? You see the danger out there. Hey, man, he gets the ball in open field. He can be gone.
Right.
You see that. But you know, he just has to stay healthy, man. And I think that's the issue for the entire receiver core right now.
They got 9 receiver on their roster, bro.
Right now, OBJ's coming off a knee, and you asking him to, to be one, and then you got Bateman coming off of his injuries, and you're asking him to contribute, and you praying that these guys stay healthy, man. You got Andrews, who's been the consistent guy,
73 catches last year,
man, but he's been consistent from the beginning, man.
Yeah,
and he stayed healthy. So I think, you wish them the best with their health and things like that. And if you got a healthy season out of these guys, they could be dangerous, especially if Lamar is back. Because the defense is already solidified. The defense is right there.
Is Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah, no doubt.
I believe they're Super Bowl caliber. When you look at this offense, they've got to fix the receiver room. They've got to fix this relationship between them and Lamar. They've got to fix it. They've got to fix drafting a receiver. They've got to draft somebody. And where are you going to draft this somebody? Because if the uncertainty with Lamar continues, they've got to draft a quarterback with one of those picks, or with 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Somebody got to be on the go, because they got to get capital to go get somebody that can play. And so they got to do something.
Lamar as capital?
I don't know. But they lost some linemen, O-linemen.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to get an O-lineman. They've got to get a receiver, and they've got to draft a quarterback. They have those things they got to do. They got to do. One of those quarterbacks are the odd man out. You know what I mean? In the receiver room, the backups. One of them are odd man out. And regardless of people like Huntley or not, somebody's going to be the odd man out. And it's going when the draft happens, if they don't deal Lamar on the draft, if they draft a quarterback, one of the other quarterbacks leave. They're going to cut one of the other quarterbacks.
Can you draft a quarterback late?
You can, but I still think the Stetson, is it Stetson Bennett? I believe it was, Georgia quarterback. I think that's the guy that they're going after. I truly believe.
Then he's a late round guy. He's not. He doesn't have a.
True. I don't think he makes it past the 4th round. They got 1, 3, and 4. Okay. I don't think he makes it past the 4th. So they've is he there? I mean, and they're drafting at 23. So do they move up in the draft? If they move up in the draft, like they've got to get into the 2nd round. Because as we talked about it before, this receiver group, they ain't really deep like that. And a guy has to be able to come in and play. With Bateman and Odell, they're going to let them kind of get their way back. $15 million, you better let him sit his behind down and get healthy all the way. So you got to get somebody young in there. You got 9 receivers on your roster. And I mean, once again, the other guys, you got Aguilar, who had 31 receptions for 362. I don't know if he's going to get it done. But you've got to get a young guy in this system that can be there after Odell leaves, that can be there
Aguilar
if you choose not to.
Consistent,
exactly,
with his hands and things like that, and playing in a game. So I guess that's a good pickup. I didn't necessarily like that pickup, but it is what it is.
Right.
You got to work with what you got, right?
Right. I don't think it's nothing against Aguilar. I mean, he's a guy that if he comes in a Queens package or a Jet package, like he can, do some things. If the matchups are somewhere else, he can, catch a ball and get open. I like him as a receiver. I don't think he's very consistent. And I don't know if that was because he had a fair shot. I don't know. But what I do know is they've got to draft. They cannot keep relying on bringing in veteran receivers. They've got to bring in their talent, that homegrown talent that they brought in, and grow him and keep him there. And they have not done a good job of
Who's the best option right now at the wide receiver position coming out of college that would fit nicely with this group?
Well, it's really going to depend on how they, as far as offensively, because we don't know as far as what they're going to do offensively. I figure they're going to be more spread. They're going to be, more packages. I do not believe that it's going to be 133 receptions between the tight ends in this offense. I truly don't believe that. And if they do want to keep
the ball to the tight ends,
but it was often. Right, but do I believe it's going to be 133 receptions? Do I think it's going to be 133 receptions?
No, it's going to be a totally different offense.
Right. So, do they want to line up in diesel every play? Two tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 running back. Do they want to line up in that? I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's going to be, and I believe they will if they have to, but they've got to figure out how to package this thing differently with with the 2 tight ends than they did the last year. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to have to spread this offense out. They're going to have to do some things differently, or it's going to be a long season. And Lamar is going to have to be able to, because if he missed camp, if he missed training camp, if he missed OTAs, he's not learning his system. And do you, if he takes this long to sign his 1-year deal, this franchise tag, then they're not sending him any book, no playbook, because they're going to try to get rid of him and get as much capital as they can for him. So as I said earlier, I don't believe if he doesn't pick up this offense, they allow him to play in the preseason. They deal him. And, I don't, so many things can happen. We have no idea. So many things can happen. But I just, I'm so glad OBJ, I want to see him back healthy, and I want to see him destroying this league. I do. I hate the fact that to me, it seems like, I think he was rushed into a number 1 spot when he shouldn't be at a number 1 spot. They need to have another legitimate receiver in that room, on that field, that's going to allow him to come back and be the old OBJ. They got to allow it. So, I don't know.
I think they may have that in Bateman if Bateman stays healthy, and that's just the thing. Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to stay healthy? And then can he contribute when he's out there and not be off the field as long as he has? Because you see the potential, you see the greatness there. It's just a matter of him, staying healthy, man.
Well, we all gonna find out when the season starts. So we'll know more, and we're gonna talk about it because we are former Ravens, and everybody's gonna try to shut me up. But you know what? Hey, I was on their payroll, you wasn't. So they can be upset, but hey, I'm gonna talk about this thing, man. And it ain't hate. We played this game, we've seen it.
It's our opinions, man.
It's our opinion.
Yeah, man. And it's all love, man. We love that organization. And what we were able to do and accomplish as teammates, man, and as a team.
Yep.
And shoot, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Don't try to discourage my brother.
Hey, man, they bet not, man. And I don't care anyway, so I'm gonna keep talking all day. So, hey, man, everybody, we appreciate you. Hey, like us, comment, let us know. Turn on the alerts. We on YouTube. Turn them on. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you think may happen. Give us your opinion, man. We're gonna respond back. We're gonna holler back. We're gonna talk back. Hit us up. Hey, y'all take it easy. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Peace.